So what now for President Barack Obama on Syria? On Tuesday, he will address the country on his proposal to attack Syria in response to last month's alleged chemical weapons attack. This week, the president failed to get international support at the G20 summit. And now Iran is threatening retaliation over a possible strike. Let's bring in General James Spider Marks. He's a CNN military analyst and also a commanding general at the U.S. Army Intelligence Center. Good to see you.
Hi, Fred. Good morning.
Good morning to you. So Vladimir Putin says he has a plan in place in case of a military strike against Syria. And now we're also hearing that others say they do too. What potentially could these countries do?
Well, specifically, Russia has been supporting Iran in its efforts. I would not suggest for a moment that Russia would do anything directly against the United States, kinetically, militarily, were the United States to strike into Syria. Clearly, any response from Russia will be asymmetric, as they say. It'll be to disrupt our efforts, either to galvanize some additional international support. It'll continue its support to Iran and Syria, certainly. So the point is that Iran's threat against the United States really kind of gets into medieval weirdness, if you ask me. I mean,
and it was targeting what? Reportedly targeting U.S. interests, like embassies?
Well, very specifically, U.S. interests in the region, the embassy in Baghdad, and also some personal threats against the president. Just really odd, very a different kind of a response that you don't even want to pay attention to,
so
or give it the
really
gravitas that they.
No,
not that. No, I would imagine that Iran very seriously would try to take some efforts against the United States at a very low level, but our ability, number one, to detect those efforts and to do something about them is pretty profound.
You know, as it pertains to this argument, Congress trying to evaluate everything that the president is presenting, that the U.S. Secretary of State is presenting. You heard Congressman Charles Rangel, who was with me earlier, who said he's not on board. And he drew the parallels between Syria and Iraq. And he says this nation doesn't want another situation like Iraq. Do you see these as potentially very similar military commitments?
No, Fred, not at all. Number one, to draw any kind of a comparison between what we tried to achieve in Iraq, what we have achieved in Iraq, and the intelligence leading up to the decisions to go to war in Iraq are completely dissimilar from what you're seeing here in Syria. In Iraq, there were a lot of inferential type of conclusions that had to be drawn. We had all of our intelligence against Iraq before a decision to go to war was gathered through technical means. We didn't have human intelligence really to speak of that gave us a good sense, a feel for what was going on inside the regime of Saddam Hussein. Vis-a-vis what's happening in Syria, this is all dispositive. This is factual. We know that chemical use was in place. We can attribute that to the regime. Now, whether the United States should do something about that in light of the civil war that's taking place in Syria is an entirely different discussion. But there is no comparison between the a priori factors for going to war.
All right, General James Spider Marks, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate that.